What's up, y'all? It's me, Erica. Erica. Today is Friday. It's my favorite day. But guess what? Why Joe Budden tweeted this morning talking about he thought today was Thursday. Nigga, you and I both. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I have no clue. I'm going to figure out what it is when you lose track of time. The days, really. Not really time, the days. I lose track of time too, but I mean, time and days is the same thing, but damn. Go ahead and like and subscribe. Hit the bell twice for notifications and comments. Let me know that you stopped by just to say hi. What's up? What's going on? Y'all wanted me to make a video about Funky Dineva's, what did he call it? The woke. What did he call it? The stop. What did he call it? Everybody hate what? Everybody hate black women police force. What did he call it? His ass is crazy. Basically, he started off the video saying that he didn't want to offend anybody. Well, no, that he was going to offend some people and that he did not care to offend anybody. And a lot of the times when you speak your opinion on things, it's a possibility that there'll be several people who are offended or will take offense to the things that you say. I took some notes on the video, but that stood out to me how he started. He said he didn't care. And then he also started saying everything is not because someone hates black women. Okay. Now, this is where we get into the some, not all, conversation where you have to preface everything with it's some people but not all people, because then all people, the group that belongs to the all people instead of the some people, they take offense to it as well and then start defending themselves. It's the same thing when we say men are trash and a man comes up and tries to defend all men, and you have to say, well, no, it's not all men, it's, oh my God, the sun is in the diva's face. It's not all men, that everybody does that. I don't care what you say. Everybody always does that. And when I say everybody, I mean everybody. I'm not giving no goddamn disclaimers. Everybody knows I always say it's never always all, but it is always some. So the fact is, even though everything is not because someone hates black women, that's a true statement, okay? Everything is not because somebody hates black women, okay? He says it feels like from this group of women who always are talking about, well, why don't you just say you hate black women? I see it. And it'd be the weirdest things that they're saying it about. And, why don't you just say you hate whatever it is? That's always, the phrase. Why don't you just say you hate women? If somebody says something about anything, I see it, okay? Now, it's not everybody, but I do see it. And we all know in every community that we come from, there's always going to be a group of people who are extreme in every culture. You have men who say, why don't you just say you hate gay people? Why don't you just say you hate Mexicans? Why don't you just say you hate whatever, right? If somebody says something against that particular group, you have a group of people who will deduce that statement into all-inclusive hate for that group of people. So it is a true statement. But there is no massive conspiracy against black women. However, in the society that we participate in, black women are on, in terms of society, we're at the bottom. And oftentimes, because of our intersections, we get placed into things or marginalized because of we're women and we're black. God forbid, well, not God forbid, but black lesbians, they really now you want to add being homosexual onto it. So there is It's not a massive conspiracy. And you see the words that he was using, the adjectives in order to describe it, it's not a massive conspiracy. But we know there's a collective group of people who do not like black women. I often say about straight black cisgendered men, that means that they were born males, and with with penises. There's oftentimes I find myself saying, do y'all hate women? Like, god damn. And it's just based on their opinions that they have about women. You know, like, for instance, I'll use Khalees as an example. Khalees didn't say anything about Nas at all. Nothing. Never, ever. Nas, he went on a little campaign trail against Khalees and the black men who supported him, calling Khalees a gold digger, forgetting the fact that she's married with another child, forgetting the fact they dragged her. And there are groups of men who really, truly do not like black women. And it's because they've taken on the characteristics of their oppressor, because what they truly desire is privilege and not equality. So what else do you do but, black men, take on the characteristics of your oppressor? And that is to take on the characteristics of white men. White men, and this is the thing that I say about black men. One thing they do not do that white men do. Now, white men in their group, they are disrespectful to white women. But let someone outside of that group say anything to a white woman, their ass is getting strung up, tortured, beaten. How many white women have said something against a black man knowing that their men, although they're oppressive to them, their men will protect them? It's kind of a weird relationship, but black men do not do that. They just flat out do not like black women. Right? And I'm not going to do the some, not all not some, all of that bullshit. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. And that's the reason why when Dineva is saying whatever it is that he's saying about this group of women, are you that group of women? But we can say that there are groups of people in every section who are absolutely extreme, who absolutely go overboard. Let's not dismiss facts because our emotions are being fucked with. You know what I mean? He says any affinity for anything white, the black woman will construe that as though you hate us because you like something white. Well, that's not true. And we know that's not true. So, but there are some people whose affinity for white people is solely based on their hatred of black people, of their own people. We're not gonna act like they're not a group of us that hate each other. You know what I mean? That there's an underlying self-hatred. There's internalized misogyny. There's internalized homophobia. There's groups, okay? Because there's groups of black gay men who don't fuck with black gay men, only fuck with white men. Go on Grindr, go on Jacked. They don't want, and they will put it. I don't fuck with niggas. It's not only no fats, no femmes, it's also no blacks. So let's not act like that doesn't exist in the gay community, honey. Let's not act like that. Let's not act like there's some men who hate that truly do not, that they hate black women. And every single stereotype that the white folks have placed on black women in society, there are some men who have taken on those adjectives and used them in order to support their reasoning for hating black women or for disrespecting black women. Let's not act like that doesn't exist, okay? Because it does. All right? I'm convinced that the answer to everything is to hate black women. Well, some people do answer everything like that. Oh. I feel like, and that's what he was saying, so a lot of the things he was going on is based on feelings, so we know that there wasn't a lot of facts presented, because he was talking about how he felt, right? When we talk about how we feel, a lot of the times, those facts, unless, they're not completely... Let me inspect and find he says, let me inspect and find. What you look for, you'll find. And that's true. If you are looking for somebody to, looking for these things, and you will find them. And it's true, because it exists. So if it didn't exist, I wouldn't be able to find it, right? We understand that. Because I'm giving a compliment to a white woman, you hate black women. Listen, I'm going to tell you what it is. As long as you don't disrespect black women really don't give a fuck if you like white people. We think it's kind of weird that you put them above your own, but no one really gives a fuck, because like Dineva said, why would you want that type of nigga anyway? Take his ass. And usually these niggas look a fucking mess, and they with these white bitches who are shaped like a bag of laundry. So we really don't even give a fuck. But it's the ones who degrade black women in order to support their reasoning for wanting white women. You know what I mean? Can't enjoy comedy without feeling the hate for black women. Now, we're getting to a point, because I'm one on that. I don't like to say that. What was I saying? Oh, so in terms of comedy, we know that comedy, a lot of the times, the comedy deals with things that we don't like to talk about, that we don't like to admit, that we do not like to discuss, and we make jokes about things that are otherwise really can be construed as rude or sensitive, or people, they make jokes about 9/11, y'all. You know what I mean? And I don't think that people should be edited in terms of comedy. But some comedy, like I used to not like D.L. Hughley, because I thought his comedy and his routine was a bit mean-spirited. Like, he's a roaster. He's grown since then, but he's a roaster. And I don't like for a comedian to focus their attention on people in the audience and start talking about them, because the people didn't come to get talked about. They came to laugh at other jokes at other people. Don't talk about me, but I want to laugh at other people. You know what I mean? He says he has his comedy bit where he says he's a rich white woman. Now, Nate and I do the same shit, because we do know, and we're not going to act like it's not true, that white women get treated the best. So when you're acting like a white woman, that means you are entitled. That means you don't care about anything going on around you. You don't have any boundaries. You're a rich white woman, honey, and you were going to respect me and treat me as the way society has built me up to do it. That's true. And in the gay community, that's what it is. And that's what it is. I'm a rich white woman. Me and they used to go to when I lived in Atlanta. We used to go, I forgot what the name of the mall was, Cumberland. And we used to go there because we said they give white women customer service. What does that mean? That they treat you really, really, really nice. And it's a joke, but there's some truth to it. And we're not going to act like white women don't get treated a different way than black women. So that is a true thing. And it's not because, I used to watch Dineva and think like, do he hate black women? He might have bad experiences with black women that kind of maybe, everybody has bad experience. If you ask a racist, they'll tell you they've had a bad experience with that particular race, and that's the reason why they don't like them. People who dismiss religion because they've had a bad experience in the realm of religion. You know what I mean? So everybody has some kind of bias or prejudice towards a group of people because of how they were treated by that said group of people. Okay, I'm gonna get over here because I don't know why you would get in front of me. Truck. So that's what it is, the rich white woman, and I'm over here, and it's a joke. And I don't know if maybe because you're not in the community, so you don't understand the joke. But even like if I get somebody together at work, my godbrother will be like, honey, you got that lady together like a white woman, because of the way that it's a stereotype of white women and how they behave and how they act. and how they're treated, but every stereotype, there's a truth to it, and we cannot act like it is. And in the vein of comedy, we can't act like these things don't exist because we're so sensitive and more aware. It's true, and it happens. White women, obnoxious, entitled, illogical. How do they act? They be calling cops on people. A white woman just called a girl, where was she at, Yale? Just called the girl for sleeping in the common area in the dorms. Why? Because she's sitting there black? That's white women. They act irrational. Oh my God, I don't know, I'm scared. I don't know what to do. What's going to happen? I'm going to play the victim, honey. That's just what it is. And that's the truth. It's the truth. I didn't disagree with him. Satirical joke, I think it's been. Now that's what it is. It's jokes at the expense of a group of people. But like I said, every single joke, the only way jokes are effective is if they're truthful. And there are some truths in the stereotypes of groups of different people. And in terms of comedy, you just really can't edit or filter that. It shouldn't be filtered. But he said something about being so woke, and I have an issue with people who are just so woke and just so and we have to understand that the idea of being woke or conscious or aware, that comes from you getting new information where you didn't know before, and it's enlightening you to be able to see things differently because of that, right? So you're more aware. You're not asleep to that anymore. And wokeness is a constant state of evolution. So as people become more aware, they tend to kind of beat you in the head with what they've just learned, i.e. Kanye West, right? His level of consciousness is changing based on new information, and he wants to share it. Now, he hasn't filtered it or processed it, and that's the danger of doing that, but people do that. Let's see, what else was he saying? Hate black women police, super black woman empowerment, only people who experience pain. Well, we do get into that. The oppression Olympics is what we're using, the term that we're saying. It's people fighting for the struggle. And I used to always say, when I would see black people arguing with black gay people about the struggles and the pain each community has gone through, and there's always the oppression Olympics happening. Especially with black people and black gay community. We struggle more than you. You wake up, I wake up black. Nobody can tell you're gay. And it's just like, that mentality is saying like, you can possibly not understand what I'm going through because I wake up black. But you're forgetting that being black and gay is like, in this society, a double negative. So not being able to walk around in your true self, in your true essence, because you believe that gay people are supposed to act a certain way, therefore they can be identified, that's dangerous and that's irresponsible. So I see that all the time. Like I said, log on to Facebook, you will see it. Say something about the LGBTQ struggle, and a black person will tell you, and they will start the oppression Olympics with you, and it's the truth. And we're not going to act like it's not. Because the other day I just told you the civil rights movement and the gay rights movement started happening at the same time. A lot of black folks don't know that. So when they start telling you black people have struggled since the civil rights movement and you don't think it was gay. Being gay is not something new. It's not a new thing. So I do see the oppression Olympics between different groups of people. I see it between women. I see it between women and men. I see it in between whites and blacks. I see it in between black folks and gay folk. I see it. So he said, try being gay and black. Okay. I just said that. It's true. But try also being a black woman. Now, you don't have the experience of being a black woman, and he doesn't have, and y'all don't have the experience of being a gay black man. Gay black men are, in our community, treated really badly. Like, really badly, and oftentimes are used. And we're going to just say that. But in terms of being marginalized, stereotyped, and silenced, we can say black women and gay folk are running neck and neck. But I'm not going to get into this thing like black women have it so much harder than, gay folk, because I think a lot of the people who have an issue, not all, the people who have an issue with what Funky Dineva saying have underlying internalized issues with gay folk. You don't want no gay man telling you that black women don't suffer. But a gay man don't want you to tell him gay men don't suffer. Nobody wants to be told that the other doesn't suffer. And I always say, let me tell you something. If you argue for a position, you might get to keep it. And that's real motherfucking talk. That's real talk. And I tell black folks that all the time. We argue for positions of oppression. Don't be surprised if you get to keep it. Stop trying to one-up each other's struggle and pain. That's true. He said it's true. I don't know. Make up your mind to hate black women. Why try to expose yourself to it? Well, basically, he's saying if you know people hate black women, if you know black men hate black women, why are you putting yourself around these men? Why would you want that a part of you, right? I agree with that. If you don't like me, I don't want to be in no space where a motherfucker doesn't like me or respects me, especially around my own people. I don't want to be around you. If you a bunch of niggas that don't like black women, I don't want to be around y'all asses. If you a bunch of niggas who will step on a black woman to get to a white woman, I don't want to be around your ass either. I don't want to be around you. And that's the facts. But let me tell you about black women. The majority of us prefer black men, despite the bullshit black men put black women through, especially when it's time to date interracially, because they degrade black women in order to justify their desire to be with white women. Oh, you guys don't listen, you too loud. Ask a bunch of white women how they feel that white men prefer Asian women over them because they too loud and too entitled. White men don't fuck with white women because they fuck with Asian women for the same exact reasons black men use to say they don't fuck with black women and fuck with white women. Understand this. You gotta understand. You don't see white men walking around and traipsing around with Asian women. White women do not like that. White women hate that shit. The same way there's black women who hate when black men date only white women. If you one of them niggas who only date white women, you can go and be with them. Because at the end of the day, we know, black women know, when these cops shoot your ass in the back, we're creating organizations to ensure your safety, to make sure you're treated justly. You know, black women do a lot of things. Listen, I'm not about to get into an accident with you people. I was just watching something on Amazon Prime talking about the 1973 fashion show in Versailles, and how the black women, because of their participation in that fashion show, they changed fashion, how fashion shows were produced forever. They didn't know how to act because the black women came through. They said it was just the way they walked. It was just the way they walked. How it was a natural rhythm in their step, because normally, you know, in European fashion, it's stiff. It doesn't flow. It's not fluid. But the black women came in there and changed the course of fashion shows. Okay, we do a lot of things. And we prefer black men over any other race. And if I'm lying, tell me I'm lying. That's the reason why black women be so hurt, because when y'all prefer white women over us, it is a slap in the face, because we prefer y'all over anybody else. Because that's just who we are. That's just who we are. So to say that, you know, That's the reason why some black women have an issue with black men, because we prefer to be with black men. We prefer it. And it's the truth. The only thing that I did, this fake woke movement, every black man doesn't hate black women. This is true. No one cares about whether or not he hates us or whether or not he cares about us, but we do care if you degrade us in order to justify your reasonings. We don't like that. Stop doing that. Nobody, that's the thing. And I didn't understand when I was a little girl, and I used to sit around and hear my mom and her girlfriends talk about black men and how they treat black. I didn't get it. I didn't understand it, of course, because I'm a child, but I would listen to them, and they would talk about how black men, what would be the thing? We fuck with white women because they do things black women don't do. Your justification was because of how we performed in bed. That's why you chose, and that's shallow and stupid as fuck in the first place. Okay? Black men who look down on black men, I don't want to be around them. He made some good points. I really think the people who are really offended by what he said have an issue with, because of who it's coming from. Because nobody likes to be told about their group from somebody who doesn't belong to their group. I don't want to hear a white woman telling me about the black woman struggle. That's why Rachel Dolezal, you white, you don't get it. You don't understand it, right? You don't have an understanding of it, so you can't even articulate what it means to be a black woman. I know you want to be a black woman, but you don't even know what it is, lady. You understand what I'm saying? So nobody likes to be told about themselves from somebody who doesn't look like them or doesn't belong to that said group. That's true. Now, he did talk about this conversation that he had with a friend who said something about a black man talking to some girls in the gym. And then he said, do you ever think that you radiate bitterness? That's a stereotype that is often, angry black woman, she's bitter. That we got to get away from that. I didn't like that at all. He said, sis, don't you think you radiate bitterness? Who radiates bitterness? So to make herself unattractive to other men, you radiate bitterness. Do you ever think you radiate bitterness? Well, like Solange's song says, I got a right to be mad. I got a right to be mad. And when you're mad about how somebody feels about your group, you might radiate bitterness, but that adjective, I don't like it. Don't you think do you think you radiate bitterness? I would be so offended if somebody said that to me, because that's a stereotypical thing about black women that has been put on us. You hostile, you aggressive, you're not submissive enough. All of this bullshit, forgetting the fact that black women really have been an integral part of any movement we have for black people. We run this shit. We run this community, period. Because of the way that the laws and society is structured, removing men out of the home, black women have carried this community. All these hoteps talking about, the black man is the strength of no, you're not. You're not. You really not. It's the woman. It's the black woman who is running this shit. Black women created the Black Lives Matter movement. For who? For black men. Right? But then it's a slap in the face when the same black men are calling Khalees, I'm just using it as an example, a gold digger for trying to get some child support. Again, black men who desire privilege over equality use the same tactics white men use to oppress and keep white women marginalized. And that's a fact. Why is it a fact? Because I said so. No, I wasn't really offended. Some of the word play that he used could have been deemed offensive. But like I said, I think a lot of people have an issue because it's coming from a gay black man. It's not coming from a black woman or a gay black woman, or, it's not. So it's not, you know, the way that it's being delivered, I don't know. But we're not going to act like that in every group there is an extreme group. You know, I don't like the conscious community. They get on my fucking nerves. I wish they would take an Ambien. Them hoteps saying different shit about women and then saying that the black woman is queen, but then at the same time wanting you to be submissive. What the fuck? A queen being submissive to who? And then acting like black men run this community. And the fact is that they do not. They would like to, but the way that society has set up, they've pushed them out of the homes, so the black women have to carry this community. And these are truths. What else did Dineva say? People who are triggered have issues with black men. Dineva is cisgendered black man who is gay. Dating black men. Black women prefer black men over all other races. Reasons that are fed into society, and black men use that against black women, radiating bitterness. Triggered by black men talking to white women. If he hates black women, you don't want him no way. And that's true. I don't want his ass anyway. If you gonna run over me to get to a white woman, I don't want your ass anyway. There are people who hate black women. And it's not like an overt hatred. It's because you've been conditioned to want this privilege that white people have. And so you take on their characteristics. Black man. There's some that go hard. There's some black women who go fucking hard against men and against, you know, men are trash. That's the same thing. Men are trash. You know how many men get offended by that? Forgetting that, oh, it's possible that you can be the exception. But we're so used to being grouped up. I don't know. Put my shoes on. Oh, my car rolled. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm like gonna unsubscribe. Those are his opinions. And in order for us to grow as a people and to keep dialogue open, you can't cancel people. I could say I didn't agree with the part about, you know, do you radiate bitterness? That's some bullshit. You know what I mean? That's straight bullshit. Is the reason why black men don't want to fuck with you is because you bitter? What would be the reason why the woman is bitter? Do we want to ask her why she's bitter? Why she might be radiating bitterness? Because the men that she prefer, the men that she stand up for, will run over her to get to a white woman. Stop using those adjectives against black women that have been used by society. I think that's the reason why a lot of people are just like, I'm going to watch it again and see, did I miss anything? But I don't know. I don't think, am I being too objective? I don't know, but I don't think it's like a big deal. Like, it doesn't make sense for me to get, like, it doesn't make sense for a black man, when I say men are trash, it doesn't make sense for him to get upset. If you know you're not trash, if you know you don't belong to this group of men who treat women like shit, there's no reason for you to unsubscribe to my channel. There's no reason for you to get mad at me and say I don't know what I'm talking about if you don't even belong to that. But you can acknowledge that those people exist. You can acknowledge that there's men that treat women like shit on a regular basis and have adopted these patriarchal views that try to keep women submissive and suppressed and down and marginalized and silenced. We're not going to act like there's not a group of men that act like that. So we're not, I do see some women and some, I see that. There's a guy on Twitter who every day he's talking about the hate that cisgender black folks have against black gay folk. Every day. And I always see him say, well, just say you hate gay people. To black people, to other black people. So we're not going to act like it doesn't exist. You can be offended. And you have a right to be offended. But you're probably offended because it's coming from Dineva. And y'all might unsubscribe to me. But whatever. It's no tea.